Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the double community day for vulpix. So we're going to have here a very important community day as well for PvP. So let's start right into it. Of course, if you enjoy the videos, feel free to subscribe, but let's start right with the community day. It's going to be in February 2026, which you're going to see as well. Both vulpix, Alolan as well as the normal vulpix, going to be more likely to be shiny, and they have a special background as well, which is of course fantastic. But generally speaking, this is going to be a very important community day for PvP, because what you're going to have here are two new moves being added, and we have here already prepared basically kind of analysis on why they are maybe good and why they are maybe not so good in certain ways. But we have actually some very important moves being added, and I tell you already why those are so nice. We're going to have here featured attacks, Energy Ball, as well as Chilling Water. Energy Ball on Ninetales makes a lot of sense because you have a fire type Pokemon. What are fire type Pokemon weak to? Rock, ground, as well as water. All of those are going to be hit by grass type coverage. So that's kind of the main idea behind it, is that you kind of want to have here a move that's going to be able to hit the Pokemon that you need coverage for, and that's exactly what Energy Ball is going to provide for the Kanto Ninetales. For Alolan Ninetales, on the other hand, we have Chilling Water. What is an ice type weak to? Something like rock type Pokemon as well as fire type Pokemon, which is going to be exactly what Chilling Water is going to allow you to hit for super effective damage. And so you can see already, you kind of have here quite a bit of, like thinking behind the move choice as coverage options for those Pokemon. Energy Ball itself is not the strongest move. Personally, it's I think 55 energy for 90 damage. That's not the strongest at all. Chilling Water is 60 power for 45 energy. It doesn't do that much damage either, but it has the guaranteed chance to drop the opponent's attack, which gives you a different kind of playstyle as well with it. Otherwise, of course, for the community today, we're going to have here the special research. It's going to have the research rewards there as well. Going to be like Alolan Vulpix and normal Vulpix, even with encounters, the Ultra Balls, whatever. We're going to have the community ambassador timed research if you go to those events, and also here for the final page, you're going to have the event bonuses, which is going to be 3 times XP. 2 times catch candy as always. We have a higher chance of getting a L candy. We have 3 hours of instants. 1 hour of Lure modules. We have snapshot surprises. 1 extra special trade. The stuff that we always have. That's kind of it for this one. Again, the event itself is running here on February 1st from 2 till 3. No, 2 to 3. 2 to 5, of course. That's going to be kind of a very important community day. And let's take a look here real quick on what they can do. Let's take a look at Kanto Ninetales first. This Pokemon here is going to get access to a good coverage move for itself. It's going to get coverage, of course, of Energy Ball, which is a move that is hopefully very helpful. The thing is here, though, for calculations, is that maybe it doesn't look as great, because Overheat is such a sim hero. It's kind of ridiculous. And as you're going to see as well, I'm going to see on the right side that you now, though, pick up some interesting matchups. For example, against the Gastrodon. You have a fire type that beats Gastrodon now, because you're going to be able to one-shot this Pokemon with Energy Ball, which is super important. So otherwise, you're going to have here Celio, which you're going to be able to hit for super effective damage, which before as well, you kind of were able to hit as well already for some neutral damage. So it's not really that important from those. But generally, the rating goes down, but I feel like it doesn't really represent on what you can do with it. Because in certain scenarios, if you're going to go for a farm down, all of a sudden your Azumarill isn't safe anymore. And yes, Ninetales had already a grass type coverage move previously, and the Solar Beam, which does more damage, like full stop. But it's going to take way longer to get to. So like this is going to be a nice addition for this Pokemon, as you're going to be able to get to this move way faster. And also something that's kind of interesting as well towards it is because it's a 55 energy move. Funnily enough, if you go for a Weather Ball first, you're gonna get to your next move, to your Energy Ball afterwards. 1 fast move faster, because you have like 1 extra energy from the Weather Ball Fire, because of Ember generating 9 energy per usage, being then after 4 times 36 exactly. You need 35 for the Weather Ball, and then you have this 1 extra, which allows you then to actually get to the Energy Ball 1 fast move earlier, which is actually kind of a cool thing. I know it's kind of a bit complicated or whatever, but it's actually really nice for it. So Kanto Ninetales definitely interesting for the Great League, but also can be good for the Ultra League. But first, let's take a look here at which Pokemon, for example, you can also hit with it. I was looking at all of those matchups here as well. Against a Shadow Feraligatr, you one-shot it. Against a non-Shadow Feraligatr, you're going to be able to get up to, I think, 82% damage with a Shadow Kanto Ninetales with Energy Ball, which kind of puts them then into Ember range. So that's fine. You one-shot always Gastro no matter what. Azumarill, you can two-shot with a bit of Ember damage in the middle of it. But actually, funnily enough, you actually now win in the one-shield scenario if you bait once with Ember and have exactly the scenario where it's that spell where you get to the next move a little bit earlier. Bait one time with Ember against Marowak, you actually win the one-shield scenario with the Shadow Ninetales against Shadow Marowak, which was never really the case prior, which is kind of interesting. It's a very interesting matchup here. So like this is definitely going to help out the Ninetales in certain matchups. That doesn't mean that you have always going to have Energy Ball on this. It's just a good new coverage move that can help you out in certain scenarios. I do think that Energy Ball has a lot of potential. I could still see that people rather go for the raw power of Overheat though. For the Ultra League, it's not really that much different. We can kind of go through the tier real quick as well. As you guys see, we're going to have a drop generally, but you're going to have some certain matchups you're going to be able to win now. For example, Gaston, again, is going to be one of the ones that you can win now, which is kind of interesting. Against Feraligatr, apparently you still lose because, yeah, Pokemon have more bulk, which is actually kind of unfortunate. And I do think that Ninetales actually enjoys the Energy Ball more in the Great League compared to the Ultra League, because you have more Pokemon that you can actually one-shot with it, which is quite nice. For the Ultra League, Pokemon just are too bulky, where you rather go for the raw damage of Overheat, in my opinion. But here, again, there's some Pokemon that you can hit. For example, also Greninja really doesn't enjoy the Energy Ball. That helps you a lot. And against the Jellicent, for example, if you get a lot of energy up as well, that can allow you to two-shot it with a little bit of extra damage. So like that's kind of a cool thing as well. And now we can move on to the other Ninetales, which is Ninetales Alolan. And here we're going to take a look at the Shadows. Our Shadow, by the way, I feel like for both of them, Shadow makes most amount of sense. First off, we're going to take a look at Powder Snow in the Great League. Powder Snow with the move Chilling Water is going to drop as well. And again, it doesn't give you the full picture of it though. I do think that Dazzling Gleam generally is going to be the better move to go for, full stop, because otherwise, for example, here against Azumarill, you don't have anything to hit them with anymore. Dazzling Gleam gives you a little bit better coverage, which is going to be also Stab, which can be quite nice, while Chilling Water itself is going to be a move that's going to be able to, for example, help you out against a Talonflame or Bastion. I do think that Chilling Water mainly is going to be used in the lead or as a Say-Stop if you want to run the Alolan Ninetales, because you're going to be able to bait out certain Pokemon that you can otherwise not beat. But for example, even against a Bastion, it would be kind of solid pick towards using Chilling Water, which before was a complete hardwall. Against none of those you could actually do anything. We can take a look at some of the Pokemon that you're going to be a bit better against afterwards as well. But here is a Charm version where there is one very unfortunate thing happening here. With Charm itself, you are going to have, with Psyshock, the benefit of going for 5 charms, I think, and then you're going to get to the Psyshock, while now you need an extra charm to go for Chilling Water, which is actually very huge. Like, it changes quite a bit, and as you can see as well, here actually, in terms of wins, that there's next to no change, really, here at all. You, I think, lose here against the Celio, because you don't have Psyshock anymore. But otherwise, it's basically kind of the same here, which is kind of interesting, so it's not the biggest difference. But again, Chilling Water is more of a good coverage move on this Pokemon. I do think it makes more sense most likely with a Powder Snow on it. But Charm would allow you to also kind of keep your Fairy type coverage while then having the option to debuff them. So it makes some sense here as well. But generally speaking, here's some Pokemon where you're going to be a little bit better up against. That doesn't mean that you win against them, especially Pokemon like the Shadow Scissor here, which would be generally a tough matchup for you. It's still going to be a tough matchup. Don't get me wrong, you're still going to get completely battered by this Pokemon. But the thing is here, previously, you didn't have a singular move that would do neutral damage against the Scissor. Scissor in the Great League is quite paper thin, and now you actually do quite some significant damage with your with your Chilling Water, which is going to be great because it's a neutral hitting move that hits there. A Pokemon like this actually still quite hard. Then against, of course, the Talonflame, if you have some energy lead, if you get, especially with Powder Snow, you're actually going to be able to do some very much significant damage and can actually flip the matchup as well in certain scenarios. For Bastion, you're still going to lose against Bastion, and don't get me wrong, like you're still going to lose against this Pokemon, but at least you can get this Pokemon set up for the next Pokemon to farm it down then, if you debuff it non-stop, and you're still gonna hit it way harder than previously. And then you have actually here the Steelix, which is a way better matchup now for yourself, because you do super effective damage against them, and they don't really do that much damage back against you either. So it's actually a very good matchup for you against the Shadow Steelix, or even the normal Steelix in the Great League. Same goes kind of for the Ultra League, but let's take a look real quick at the Ultra League here as well for the Ninetales and how those things change. as we'll see here as well, we're going to have a general loss in terms of what those Pokemon can do. Again, I don't think it always represents exactly on what the move can show you or like give you. Here, for example, there's not really any change directly in the top meta compared to each of the moves. And I do think that, for example, here, especially in the Ultra League, the new move Chang Water, unlike, for example, for the other Ninetales, can really help you out because the matches are drawn out a little bit longer. So, like, the debuffing effect might help you out for a longer period of time as well. But again, the issue is that you have only Water and Ice type coverage, which means other Water type Pokemon are going to hardwall you and are going to be able to also do some neutral damage back against you, which is kind of unfortunate. And so that's going to be a big issue for the Ninetales Alolan. Here, again, Powder Snow first, and now we can take a look at Charm as well for the Ultra League. We will see here that this Pokemon is going to drop again in terms of the average rating, but again, there's next to no real difference in terms of which Pokemon you beat and which one you don't. For Relegator, apparently it's the only one where you really lose because of this now. And so this is kind of interesting. Here are some Pokemon where, of course, you're going to be a bit better in the Ultra League skirtage there, like some of the other Pokemon drop down. For example, the argument with the Scissor isn't really here a thing as well because, well, yes, you do more damage against it. It's way bulkier than it is in the Great League, and so it's like not really comparable. But I feel like both of those Pokemon have some potential with their new moves. Don't get me wrong, I think both of them are not absolutely broken with any of that kind of stuff. But I think it's kind of cool to have those coverage moves. Let me know down below what you think about it. That's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.